people today. They could spend half their lives over 50. That's a lot of living. So it helps to have a wise friend and fierce defender in your corner. A friend like AARP. So your health lives longer.
This is just slow-mo karate?
Just slow-mo karate.
Your money lives longer.
I just bought that.
I just sold that.
And your happiness lives longer. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
Welcome to AARP Illinois' virtual event. It's wonderful to have you with us. AARP is on a mission to connect with individuals across various communities, especially those aged 50 and above. We're here to listen, understand, and address the unique needs of you and your community as we age. Our goal is to enrich your experience by expanding our local activities, providing opportunities for you to discover and engage with all that life has to offer right here in your own community and virtually. As we journey through today's event, we invite you to consider joining our dedicated team of AARP volunteers. It's a chance to make a meaningful impact and help us better serve those 50 plus across the nation. Connect with us and be a part of this vibrant movement toward positive change. Welcome, and let's make this event both fun and transformative.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Adam Ballard. I'm an Associate State Director with AARP Illinois here in our Chicago office, and we are pleased to be presenting this virtual live presentation today with our friends from Cook County Assessor Fritz Kage's office. We are talking today about property tax exemptions and other programs that can help older adults lower their property tax bill. Our guest today is Teresa Chandler with the Assessor's Office. Teresa, thank you for joining us. I'm going to turn it over to you here now for your program. And if you have questions, please type them in the chat of whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, and we will get to as many of those questions as we can after Teresa's presentation. Thank you so much, Teresa. Take it away.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for that. So let's get started, and thank you all for joining us. So what we're going to do here is, Adam stated, my name is Teresa Chandler. I'm with the Cook County Assessor's Office. I'm not a one-woman's team, of course. Behind the scene is my colleague, George. And so if you have questions or concerns at this time, as I go along the presentation, please, I urge you to drop them in the chat. And also, more importantly, share this presentation. If you're at home, if you're on your cell phone, text someone and ask them to join, because the information that I'm providing for you will be able and beneficial for someone else. So what is the responsibilities of the assessor's office? First, number one, the Cook County Assessor, Fritz Kage, our office, along with Fritz Kage, we set fair and accurate values for over 1.9 million properties throughout Cook County. We administer property tax savings exemptions that contributed to lowering your property tax bill. Now, what the Cook County Assessor's Office don't do, we don't set your tax rates. We don't set your levies. We don't mail out your tax bills, and we don't decide the balance of your tax bills. These are 4 things that the Cook County Assessor's Office, we don't do, okay? However, what we do offer is some fabulous savings, exemptions. And oftentimes, some people may qualify for 1, 2. You can qualify up to 4 of these exemptions, all right? So I'm going to go over each one of those exemptions that's displayed here on the screen and the eligibility. All right. The first exemption is the homeowner's exemption. The homeowner's exemption, you must own or have a lease or equitable interest in the home and have lived in this house as of January the 1st of 2024. Now, If you purchase this house, if it's newly built, all right, you can apply for the exemption. If you purchase the house, say anytime in 2024, you can apply for the exemption. All right. And that's a different to the rule. Normally, you must have lived in the house January the 1st, 2024. But if you had a house that's newly built, anytime in 2024, you can qualify. Now, once you apply for the homeowner's exemption, this exemption automatically renews every year. Every year. That's wonderful, right? I think so too. Next exemption is a senior exemption. In order to qualify for the senior exemption, you must have been born in 1959 or prior, right? Have a lease or equitable interest in the home, and you must be responsible for the property taxes. This must be your primary residence. Similarly, just like the homeowner's exemption, all of our exemptions, it must be your primary residence. This exemption automatically renews. Why? You're not getting any younger, you're getting older. So you don't have to apply for this exemption every year, okay? But remember, it must be your primary residence. Next. In addition to the senior exemption, we have what we call a low-income senior assessment freeze exemption, okay? Now, maybe many of you have heard about this exemption. People says, I want the senior freeze. It's pretty much the same, but I'm going to explain what were the changes, okay, over the course of last year. So in order to qualify for this, you must be a senior, born 1959 or prior, so 65, right? Your household income must be less than $65,000 for 2023. You must live in this house or have a lease or equitable interest in this home, and you must have lived in there 2 consecutive Januaries. So January the 1st, 2023 and January the 1st, 2024, right? And you must be liable for paying your property taxes and paid them, of course. It must be your primary resident, and that's really key. Now, this exemption, the low income senior assessment freeze, it does not, hear me again, it does not automatically renew, because sometimes seniors, they may take out funds or have extra money coming on the side, things of that nature. So sometimes the income fluctuate, you know, they may have some dividends coming out, you know. So if the income fluctuate, this is why you have to apply every year, right? So it does not automatically renew. Now, the reason why it's called the low income senior freeze exemption is because if you are enrolled in any of these programs that's here below on this screen, you don't need to provide us your income, right? And as you can see here, we have about 5 of them. And that's the AABD, Aid to the Age of the Blind and Disabled, SNAP program, the Low Income Energy Program, that's the LIHEAP, or the Benefit Assets Program, and even the Senior Citizen Real Estate Tax Deferred Program through the Cook County Treasurer's Office. So if you don't want to provide us your income and you are enrolled in one of these programs and you can prove that you've been in this program in 2023, you don't have to provide your income, okay? And that's why it's called the Low Income Senior Citizen Assessment Freeze. The next slide. Now, in addition to those wonderful exemptions, as I stated, we have some fabulous exemptions that the Cook County Assessors offers, right? This is the Persons with Disability exemption. You must be disabled or have become disabled in 2024. You must own the property, have a lease or equitable interest in the property. Again, it must be your primary residence, right? And you must have been paying the property taxes. Now, you don't have to, the only way you can show, you can show that you're disabled is that we have a form called a P-Tax 343, right? It's a physician statement. You would take this physician form to your primary care, and he fills it out, and you bring it to our office. Now, you don't have to come downtown. You know, you can file for all these exemptions. You can file for them online. All of our exemptions could be filed online, right? In addition to that, the physician statement, you can also take it to your optometrist. Like me, I have a visual impairment, right? And I could take it to this form, this PTAX 343 form, to my optometrist. He fills the form out, and now I could be eligible for the homeowners, the senior freeze, if I was a senior, of course, with $65,000 income or less household income, and now the persons with disability. So I qualify now for 4 exemptions. This is just really hypothetically, but that may be you, okay? So this exemption automatically renews every year. So Teresa Chandler does not have to apply every year for the homeowners, the senior, and I don't have to apply for my persons with disability exemption. Got it? Now, at this time, I'm going to ask you to drop all of your questions in the chat because we don't want to miss one. As I stated, my colleague George is behind. He's a great guy. He knows this in the back of his head. He can send you all the links and the answer to all of your questions. Okay. So in addition to that, can you go to the next slide, please? We have a veteran with disability exemption. The veteran with disability exemption is that you must be an Illinois resident who have served in the United States Armed Forces or the National Guards, okay, but had an honorable discharge. And you must have at least 30% service-connected disability, right? Service-connected disability certified by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, right? And also, in addition to that, in addition to all of this, this is like one of our best exemptions for the veterans, okay? It must be your primary residence. You must live in this home. Now, if you are 30 to 49%, as you can see here on the diagram, 30 to 49%, you'll receive $2,500 off of your EAV. Now, what is EAV? What does that mean? That means equalized assessed value. Yeah, I don't like all those acronyms either. So that's why I'm explaining to you. Your equalized assessed value, not off your tax bill, but your equalized assessed value. Now, if you're 30 to 49%, 50 to 69%, you receive $5,000 off your equalized assessed value. And if you're 70% or greater and you live in a home, a primary residence, right? And your equalized assessed value is $250,000, okay? Less than $250,000, you are exempted from property taxes. Isn't that awesome? I think it is too. So, in addition to that, if you're permanent or if you're total disabled, permanent, if you're deemed permanent, you are exempted from property taxes. Okay? Do we have any veterans on this call? Any veterans on this Zoom? Do you know any? You do? Okay. Well, let's give you all a round of applause for serving our country. Wonderful. Okay. Make sure you take advantage of this exemption. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, in addition to the veteran with disability exemption, we have a returning veteran exemption, right? Again, you must be an Illinois resident who served in the Armed Forces, National Guard, or Reserve. Returning from active duty, right? Active duty, not from World War II or something. Active duty, right? This must be your principal place of residence. You must be responsible for paying the property taxes. And this must be your main residence. I have to keep stating this because sometimes people say, well, I have 2 homes. No. In order to receive these exemptions, it must be your principal place of residence. Okay? This exemption does not automatically renew. It does not need to be automatically renewed every year. Okay? Just an automatic renewal. Now, this exemption that I'm going to talk about right now, we have so many people that think they qualify for this exemption, and they call us, they email us. And the reason why, and I can see why they think that they qualifies. But if you qualify for this exemption, our office, in sometime in mid-April or the end of April, we will automatically send you an application for this exemption. So let me just talk about this exemption a little bit. It's called the long-time homeowners exemption. The long-time homeowners exemption eligibility. Number one, you must have lived in your house for 10 years. Is that you, Adam? Okay. Now, from January the 1st, 2014 to January the 1st, 2024, you must have a total household income. Total household. So that's you, Adam, and all your children who are grown, who lives in your home. Total household income of $100,000 or less for the tax year 2023. Now, in addition to all of that, there must have been a large increase in your property assessment that was set by state legislator. Now, in our office, we don't know your income, but what we can see is the trend in the value of your house. Has your assessment been increasing over the course of those periods, right? Now, as I stated, you don't have to call us and say, hey, I qualify. Our office will automatically send you an application out if you meet these qualifications. As I stated, we don't know the income portion, but definitely we know if you've been in the house for 10 years and if your assessment has increased over the course of those period of time. Okay. Next slide. So we also have a home improvement exemption. Now, the home improvement exemption allow you to make improvement that increases the value of your home, right? By adding square footage, okay? And also it says here in the diagram here, repairing flood damage, from storms. So this eligibility, you must live in a resident, in a 2-story resident. And that's just a regular home, It must be a 2-class. And how do you know if you live in a 2-class home? Look at your property tax bill, right? In the right corner, the very top right-hand corner, your classification will be there, right? So this exemption will be automatically applied. Once you start pulling your permit for your home, you don't have to apply for it. Just make sure that you use a reputable contractor who pulls permit. So when does this happen? How do you receive this exemption? When you start making square footage changes to your home. Say you add a dormer for those shoes or those fur coats, or the man build them a man cave on top of the second floor or on top of the first floor, things like that. So when you start adding square footage, this could possibly qualify you. Now, there's a lot of things that you may think that could qualify you, like I put a new roof on my home or things like that. And my colleague George, he can put it on in the chat. What does not qualify? Because I know people says, well, I'm making a lot of improvements to my home. So what qualifies? We can tell you what does not qualify right off the bat. And these are things that you would think that would qualify, but they don't. Okay. Next slide. So this is a new exemption. New. It's the World War II exemption. The World War II veteran exemption is, like it stated, for veterans who served in the war from 1941 to 1946. If my dad had been alive, he would have qualified for this exemption because he actually served in World War II. Yeah, can you believe it? He did. So what does the exemption do? What does it do? Tell me. Ask me. What does it do? Yes. So let me just tell you what it does. You are fully exempt, right, in property taxes. So one thing about this exemption, you cannot combine it with any other of our exemptions with the veteran with disability exemption. You cannot be combined, right? And you cannot apply for this exemption online. You have to print out your application and mail it to our office. Now, you may say, are there any World War II veterans still around? There is. There's quite a few. So it's called the World War II veteran exemption, okay? remember, it's fully exempt. That means they're not paying property taxes. Isn't that awesome? Yes. Next slide. So, applying for your exemptions. When you apply for all of these amazing exemptions, right? They're going to appear on your second installment bill. All exemptions, all of them, all 8, all 9, will appear in your second installment bill. And where are you going to find it? In the very lower left hand of your second installment property tax bill. Now, this yellow bill is the second installment property tax bill. So if you qualify for the homeowner's exemption or the senior exemption or the senior freeze, you should see a dollar amount in that section, okay? If you do not and you qualify, then you need to contact our office, all right? Now, normally you receive, and all the time, you receive a blue bill. That's the first bill. I equate it to blue and yellow. Blue bill for me means winter bill. Yellow bill means my summer bill. Everything happens on this summer bill. And there's so much information. There's so much wealth of information that can be found on this second installment property tax bill besides your savings, okay? But that's really important. And next slide. Filing online. You can file for all of our exemptions online. Filing online is free. And I always tell my friends, if it's free, more likely it's for me. You don't need an attorney. You don't need anyone to file. You can make an appointment, come to our office, or you can file in the comfort of your own home. File on your laptop, your iPad. Filing is free. All you need is your email address and create an account, and you can go from there. Next slide. So, remember I talked about all of our 9 exemptions? Well, I just want to highlight 2 important things about our veteran with disability exemption and our senior freeze exemption. Now, if you are going to renew your application, say you qualified for the veteran with disability exemption and the senior freeze last year, there were 9 steps that you had to take. Well, we've minimized those steps. And now we reduced those filing steps to 6. Did I say from 9 to 6? From 9 to 6. We've made it so easy for you to file online. When I tell you it's so easy, you can do it like less than like 5 minutes, to be honest with you. Okay. Much more simpler, much easy, much shorter. Okay. For both of these exemptions. Next slide. So let's talk about if you're missing exemption. Let's just say George, my coworker, he forgot to apply for his exemption, his homeowner's exemption, his senior exemption since 2019. Well, he can go back and apply for it. And there's a call certificate of errors. And what are certificate of errors? Refunds. And who wouldn't want refund money back that's due to them? So if you fail to apply for your exemptions, you can go all the way back to 2019 right now, okay, to 2023, and we can apply those exemptions for you. Once you apply in our office for your certificate of errors, refunds, right, the Cook County Treasurer's Office will mail you those checks. Now, those checks will come for individually by year. So your 2019 check, then you have a 2020, 21, and so on. Got it? Each check will be individual from the Cook County Treasurer's Office. And it usually takes a couple of months in order for this whole process to be completed. Next slide, please. Now, here, let's talk about where your money goes. You remember I said there's so much information on your second installment bill? The Cook County Treasurer, Maria Pappas, did a phenomenal job. I love this. That's why it's in our PowerPoint presentation. She actually broke down where your money goes, right? How your money is being spent. Where's your tax money? It's called your taxing district. I urge each and every one of you to look at your second installment property tax bill to see where your money goes. Because you get so many people say, you guys raised up my taxes. Well, you have to see what your township or what your taxing district need. And so it breaks it down for you. And that's on your second installment property tax bill. Next slide, please. Check your property exemption history. You can do all of this on our website. Not only check your property exemption history, you can check your appeal history. That's going to be another class that I come back for. Your assessment history, how much your house is worth over the course of the years. You can check all of this on our website and read about your assessment. If you live in Lake Township, Hyde Park Township, Thornton Township, you can read all of this information. The reason why I say you should read it is because we have transparency in our office. There's nothing hidden. If you want to know something about your property, it's on our website, okay? And if not, email us. If it's something that you can't locate that we are supposed to have on our site, let us know if you can't find it, all right? Because we're here to help you navigate through this, okay? Next slide. As I stated, we're here to help. Now, you can contact us by phone. You can even connect with us by email through social media. You can make an appointment at one of our branch offices or a downtown office. And also, right now, take out your phone and you can hover over that QR code, right? Once you hover over that QR code, like I'm doing right here, you can be connected to what our link tree with valuable resources and information directly to our office. Now, most importantly, sign up to receive our updates from our office so that you won't miss anything, okay? And when your township opens up, we will actually contact you through email. Now, I want to thank you all for your time. I hope all your questions has been answered. And I thank you all for joining us. Thank you for attending. Hi, Adam. I think you're on mute too.
I am absolutely on mute. Thank you, Teresa, for catching that. And more importantly, thank you for that great presentation. Thank you to your team working behind the scenes to get people answers to their questions live on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you to all of you who have tuned in on Facebook or YouTube for this presentation from AARP Illinois. And again, follow up with the assessor's office through the ways that Teresa shared if you have questions. If you'd like to learn more about AARP Illinois and our work on your behalf on these and so many other issues affecting older adults 50 plus, Chicago, Illinois, and beyond, please reach out to us at aarp.org/IL to learn about what's happening here at AARP Illinois. And again, thank you so much for joining us all. And that concludes our program. Thank you so much.
And thank you all for having us.